It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. If an injury has to be done to a man, it should be so severe that his vengeance need not be feared. Politics have no relation to morals. It is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. The wise man does at once what the foolish finally. There is no avoiding war, it can only be postponed to the advantage of others. He who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. It is not titles that honor men, but men that honor titles. There is nothing more difficult to take in hand, more perilous to conduct, or more uncertain in its success, than to take the lead in the introduction of a new order of things. Never was anything great achieved without danger. Men ought either to be indulged or utterly destroyed, for if you merely offend them they take vengeance, but if you injure them greatly they are unable to retaliate, so that the injury done to a man ought to be such that vengeance cannot be feared. Men should be either treated generously or destroyed, because they take revenge for slight injuries, for heavy ones they cannot. One who deceives will always find those who allow themselves to be deceived. There are three kinds of intelligence. One kind understands things for itself. The other appreciates what others can understand. The third understands neither for itself nor through others. This first kind is excellent, the second good, and the third kind useless. The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. When you disarmed the people, you commenced to offend them and showed that you distrust them either through cowardice or lack of confidence, and both of these opinions generate hatred. Hatred is gained as much by good works as by evil. I'm not interested in preserving the status quo, I want to overthrow it. Severities should be dealt out all at once, so that their suddenness may give less offence. Benefits ought to be handed out drop by drop, so that they may be relished the more. The more sand has escaped from the hourglass of our life, the clearer we should see through it. Where the willingness is great, the difficulties cannot be great. It is much more secure to be feared than to be loved. The first method for estimating the intelligence of the ruler is to look at the men he has around him. God is not willing to do everything, and thus take away our free will and that share of glory which belongs to us. No enterprise is more likely to succeed than one concealed from the enemy until it is ripe for execution. Whosoever desires constant success must change his conduct with the times. It is necessary for him who lays out a state and arranges laws for it to presuppose that all men are evil and that they are always going to act according to the wickedness of their spirits whenever they have free scope. To understand the nature of the people one must be a prince, and to understand the nature of the prince, one must be of the people. The son can bear with equanimity the loss of his father, but the loss of his inheritance may drive him to despair. Men rise from one ambition to another. First, they seek to secure themselves against attack, and then they attack others.